What's up, everybody? Thinking outside the Longbox. It's been a while. In the car, in the parking lot. Collision Course Part 1, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was pretty crazy. If you've been watching the past episodes, you know that this mysterious woman is kind of recruited Fitzsimmons to bring her to Earth. This episode, you find out that she's looking for the three monoliths. We don't really know what the third one is for yet. We haven't really touched on that one. The time travel one and the other one we've kind of already learned that through past seasons. But the third one we don't really know. But she's recruited them to come to bring her to Earth. Throughout the episode, we learn that she is the maker, the creator, maybe allied or whatever with what has now been known called the Shrike, the little dragon dudes who kind of infect you and then they take you over. And so she's slowly kind of turning the whole crew into these kind of zombie things, while Fitzsimmons get them to Earth and are working on the aircraft and all that stuff, and they don't realize kind of what's going on. At the end of the episode, you see them marching off, or marching towards the exit of the ship, not necessarily off because it hasn't actually landed yet. While all that's going on, Mac and May and Quake, all of that whole team is dealing with Coulson, not Coulson. He's got the DNA of Coulson, but he's not Coulson apparently. I'm sure we're gonna figure out what the fuck's going on with that later in the season. But he supposedly is on the good side, and is trying to destroy the Shrike. Because the Shrike has, in their quest for these artifacts, has destroyed many planets, and so Earth is next. Coulson, not Coulson, has some kind of vendetta against this mysterious woman, and so he's trying to kill her. He's trying to make it so that I think it goes beyond more than just trying to make it so she doesn't destroy their planets, because it sounds like he really give a fuck. It sounds more like he's got some sort of personal vendetta with her. Throughout this episode, Mac lets Coulson, not Coulson, go with May and Quake, and they go on his truck, and he takes Snow, one of his teammates, and they take the guy from the future whose name I can't remember right now. But they all go. While this is going on, they're driving towards a destination where a bunch of Shrike are gathering, and they're shooting up their crystals up into the sky as a beam. And so Coulson, not Coulson, is trying to destroy that kind of monolith thing that's going on. And this whole episode is the journey to that destination. It's the journey of what, we learn a little bit more about what's going on with Coulson, not Coulson, about this mysterious woman, the monoliths, and kind of all of that kind of stuff. And so Collision Part 2 next week, I'm guessing, will deal with what actually happens, kind of the action part. So this is the preamble, the Part 1, the first hour of this movie, and then this next week will be Part 2, or the second hour, which I'm looking forward to. It's actually been refreshing. Coulson not really being himself, being somebody else, and nobody knowing why is pretty cool. He's kind of in a bad guy role. And Fitzsimmons kind of coming to their own, which they've been doing slowly as the seasons have gone on. Quake has taken a badass role at this point. It's just been really cool to watch how these have progressed. In the last two seasons, I personally didn't know if we'd get it all. I think this one was saved at last minute. I think there's going to be another season too, so who knows. But Collision Part 1 was really cool. Collision Part 2 seems like everything's kind of going to come to a head, and then we'll see if that's the end of it. I know Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of, even if in the middle of the season something ends, it kind of trickles on to the rest of the season. At the very end of the episode, we saw Enoch, who it seemed from last weekend was going to be gone for a lot longer than he actually was. But he's talking to another Chromicon, about finding another place and then kind of bringing everybody together. all of the other Comic-Cons that he kind of zapped, they weren't dead but stunned, they wake up, and they are on the hunt for Fitzsimmons, which is kind of weird. I don't understand their affiliation. Maybe they're just mad because they kind of duped him. That I don't understand, but again, I think we'll learn more about later about what's going on. I think what's going on is that this first part will end next week, and then we'll learn and engage ourselves in the Comic-Con story in the following weeks of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then they'll kind of head at the very end of the season. But I think that's kind of why Enoch came back at the very end of this episode, because he's going to kind of creep into the next one. So good episode, in my opinion. I think probably they're all pretty good, in my opinion. I know some people don't like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's okay. It's not a big deal. But go watch it if you haven't watched it. I'm looking forward to the next week's episode. Otherwise, hit us up. There were 2 episodes that came out last week, Monday and Thursday, talking about Good Omens and talking about Tim Burton's Batman. We changed the format of the show if you weren't paying attention. Every episode, we're going to have new episodes every Monday and Thursday. They're about 30 minutes long. Hopefully that will give you a little bit of a shorter time to watch as you're going to work or kind of do your things, but still give us the parts to the episode that we really want out anyways. So check us out, facebook.com/thinkingoutsidethelongbox, at Outside Longbox on Instagram and Twitter. You can find us anywhere, Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever. Otherwise, you can shoot me an email at outsidethelongbox@gmail.com, and you can leave us a call at 970-573-6148. A lot of Comic-Con news coming out, and it's just because we're a part of the press, and so we're getting a bunch of emails. So there'll be exclusives, there'll be things about where people are gathering and such. So look forward to all of that. We're leaving to Comic-Con in, I think, about 2 weeks, but we've got 8 episodes coming out in between then. So we'll catch you later, guys. Have a good day. Saturday. Go have some fun. Be safe.